also have gifted and talented, and so whether to group those kids together in a classroom or spread them out in the other, you know, along with the special ed kids and the teachers that they're with in terms of co-teaching.
Another thing Anna did on her campus is she had Science Friday or something like that, and it was just, you know, all the kids did science all day long. They just rotated through teachers, and that was really, really nice. Got some good parent interaction, etc. Okay, other questions? Okay. Okay.
You mentioned that you found it easiest to start with integrating math and science. Have you seen some campuses successfully integrate language arts, social studies, and what are some components that made that successful for them?
Actually, I didn't tell you the whole story. With our grant, we have writing to learn science and math, and so we have writing instructors who come in and do 4 sessions a year with our teachers to teach them how to use writing to learn math and science. Your question was about integrating all of them? Sure you can. But I'm an Aggie. I have to start with things that are simple. And it has not been easy to integrate math and science. I mean, we're doing more than content. We're building a community of practice with our teachers and with our principals. I invite everybody to come to my home during December. That's our community of practice session. And also, whenever we take a lot of field trips, and there would be, in many cases, extra things that we do during the year, we invite families to come into our field trips, you know, if it's possible. They have to pay their own way. I can't pay it with grant money. But we are really building that community of practice. So can you have the ELA teacher and your reading teacher and the other teachers? You bet. But it's a bigger population, and I think it's harder to do. I think it's easier to start smaller and then to branch out. In our PD, we can't branch out any more than we already are.
On my campus, the last year I was principal there, we were chosen to be a challenge-based learning study school. Apple put out this request for applications, and so we applied. You're supposed to have one-to-one technology and whatever, and they were doing it for middle school and high school. Well, we were only elementary, but I had 5th grade. So we were chosen, and if you go on the Apple website, this is speaking to the integration, go on the Apple website and look under challenge-based learning study, and then there will be all the schools that were involved in that, different grade levels and whatever, but the integration of all of it was exactly what you're talking about. So when you are reading about inquiry-based, problem-based, not just project-based, problem-based. Apple's version of problem-based, which was, I think, the Linux Foundation, Apple's version is challenge-based, and they use design thinking in order to build the integrated projects. My recommendation is, if you've never done it before, because as Sandra says, it's very complex to set it up right, because you have to have the overarching question, and you have to have the right question, you have to say it right, and whatever, otherwise you shoot yourself in the foot. It was probably one of the highlights of my teaching career, and I was principal at the time. It was fabulous. I had every kid in 5th grade, 115 of them. They wanted me to just have one classroom. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have 5 classrooms. Which one am I going to choose? So we did the whole class. They figured out how to do one-to-one. We only had 3 digital cameras on campus, and we had laptop computers. So this was before iPads. What they did when they needed to interview people, adults and stuff, if they couldn't find the digital camera, they brought the laptop with the camera and hit photo booth and said, here. So anyway, it can be done. You need to know what you're biting off, because it takes an incredible amount of planning and collaboration. But it's wonderful to do.
don't be fooled by PBLs. PBLs can be awful, they can be great. Many of the PBLs I've seen have been driven by questions that are not applicable in all of the disciplines. So I would say let your science drive it if you're going to do a PBL. It's easier to integrate the other ones rather than social studies, etc. So we thank you. We're sorry we're at the end. You have our contact information. You have our website. You can see what we do and how we do it. And we will be glad to help you in any way that we can. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Been out of tape.